Hey, I'm CISEPresentation and today we're going to be talking about how parents can actually encourage their adolescents to read. If you would with me, imagine a world where there was no desire to even read, and it would be nothing short of chaos for all of us as a society. Our desire is what drives us in our everyday lives to push forward and make great achievements. The ability to read in today's world is regarded as foundational groundwork for all of education. Everything is built upon this in our society. So after all, this is how communication is achieved in the world that we live in. These fundamentals actually start at a very young age when parents begin to read storybooks to their children at bedtime. Parents who read to their children actually instill a passion within them as they see us as parents, our love for reading, and this is carried with them for years to come and can guide them through a lifetime of success. If a child is able to see his or her parent reading for the entertainment purposes and not actually just for the fundamental skill of it, so if they see us reading because we love to read and we enjoy to read, that this is going to cause more of a positive attitude towards reading that they are able to see, and so they're not going to actually feel like it is something that they have to do, that it's something that's affiliated with school. They're actually going to develop a love for reading, and it's going to be a certain relaxation in their life, a joy in their life. So reading skills are very important for a child to have success in school, and as they become older, it can be used as a higher achieving tool so that they can succeed in the real world. Children actually do seem to read more when they are younger, but then there's an actual decline as they get older, and this can be actually the effect of many things. So as parents, it is our job to actually figure out ways that we can actually keep our children engaged and keep the experience with reading related to actual enjoyment and not just something that is affiliated with school. So we need to keep them motivated because reading is the key to success. Some factors that lead to the lack of interest in reading. One factor is that a great number of students display low self-confidence when it comes to reading. Encouraging your teen is as much about building up their confidence in reading as it actually is teaching them the skills. So low self-esteem can leave many adolescents feeling disconnected from their goals. It makes them unmotivated. So they, most of the time, some of the incidences could be because they actually missed out on a crucial opportunity when they were younger to actually be able to get caught up in a book and get excited and love it and have their imagination just set free and they explore. So then by the time they become teenagers, reading is viewed as being an obligation or school imposed. Many studies suggest that the home environment and parental support or support from an adult has significant effects and is essential in encouraging them to strive on higher levels. In order for parents to strive on higher levels, they have to change this stigma that the teenagers have placed upon reading and that they must ultimately become involved in the process. So parents must actively discover ways, go out and seek ways to involve their teenager in reading and have it become more viewed as recreational reading. Another factor is that adolescents may not feel any personal connection to the text and that they're being made available. And so as most people, just like us, it's very discouraging. We don't want to read things that we don't feel connections to, that we're not interested in, and so it makes it feel more like work. They need to be able to explore texts that have matured as they have matured so that they can actually make that life connection. So, us as parents, sometimes we still view our children as being younger than what they actually are. We don't want them to grow up. And so when we're picking out materials or surrounding them with materials, sometimes we're actually doing them a disservice because we're placing things around them that are actually lower than their level. Parental encouragement impacts. Research does actually back up that students with parental support that are involved in the academic school experience have a higher rate of academic success. They do tend to be diligent readers and successful in their adult careers. The more time the parent invests, then the greater chance of future success the child will be exposed to later on in life. Reading at home with your adolescent and continuously giving them that encouragement and praise that they need really does contribute to their overall success in reading and their reading abilities. Research also shows that students whose parents are regularly involved are more likely to establish higher grades, meeting all the curriculum at the end of the school year, earning credits, actually attending school on a regular basis. They're more likely to fit in socially, and they adjust better to school. Strategies parents can use. One of the strategies that parents can use can be allow them to become part of a book club. This is a great opportunity for adolescents to make improvements with their literacy and facilitate a long-lasting passion, because it is a way that allows them to actually connect with a text and facilitate and participate in discussions about that text. Some of the discussions may include their favorite character or comparisons that they are able to make with previously read books, how they might identify with the characters, how this book identifies with them personally, making life connections. Attending these book clubs allows them to take ownership of text and the topics, and even are able to take ownership of the book club. This can greatly enhance their self-confidence and their pride. Parents can also set an example for their children by establishing family literacy traditions that will enable them to model their own love of language. So, as adults, we need to allow our children to see us reading magazines, reading books, reading newspapers. They need to see how we enjoy it and that we do it out of enjoyment, not because we have to. So if we model these behaviors, we show them this, then they are more likely to have a better outlook on reading. As parents, you can discuss your own reading habits with them. You can have discussions about things like where certain words came from and how they changed through events. You can incorporate fun activities that connect to their interests, such as things like puzzles or word games. Parents can allow their adolescents to decide what kind of books they actually want to read, because this gives them a greater opportunity to make those connections and to become more involved. Just like us, they are far more likely to read books that interest them. Parents can also surround them with pieces of literature that build upon their own personal interests, like we talked about. This, of course, takes time with the parents talking to their children and keeping up with all the things that's going on in their daily life, because we as parents, we need to know our children on a personal and intimate level. We need to know the things that interest them in order to know what kind of books that they might actually want to read. We should always try to build time around reading and discussing a story with our children, because not only does this strengthen their literacy, but it also strengthens the bond between us and our children. So if you're sitting at the table at nighttime, talk about their day, talk about the things that they read, what they're interested in. Read a book to them at nighttime. Get involved with them. Let them know that you're involved, that you're supportive. Parents should also always acknowledge that their adolescents, like I mentioned before, maturity by suggesting more appropriate adult reading materials. Making frequent visits to the local library can provide an adolescent with multiple types of information and give them the opportunity to actually come in contact with activities that on a daily basis in our communities they probably would not come in contact with. They can find many resources related to schoolwork of fiction and nonfiction, a wide selection of magazines that are appealing to teenagers, such as entertainment and current events. Libraries can also expose your teenager to different forms of multimedia programs and computers, which are always a big hit with this age group. They're really into having interactive things with computers. It's very engaging for them. It grabs their attention. It keeps their attention. They're more likely to retain the information that they're reading. So libraries also can offer reading programs that take place in the summer, creative writing seminars, drama groups, poetry readings. In some libraries, they have actual special workshops that are available to assist them in like their homework, research papers, projects, reading literacy, test preparations, and even tutoring programs. So in conclusion, the purpose of the information presented here is to aid parents in encouraging their adolescents to establish a passion for reading, because this will ultimately make a difference in their literacy abilities. Like we talked about, there are different factors that can lead up to the lack of their interest in reading, but there are also many ways that we as parents can encourage them as adolescents to continue, or maybe to reinstill that love of reading into them. Without them desiring to read, their success rate, like we talked about, is lower. So without the desire to read, there would be no reading. Therefore, there would be complete disarray and complete chaos in our community if nobody had that desire. Just think about the daily lives. The reading stop signs. So when you're driving down the road, reading restaurant menus, just everything in our life is centered around this. They need this to be career ready or college ready. Reading is definitely at the core of all communication in our society as we know it today, and parents should use all the resources that are available in order to increase the time their adolescents devote to reading. This is my Works Cited page. And once again, I thank you for giving me the time and listening to my presentation. Have a good day.